A 5-2 final term on top of a very lacklustre second quarter proved a recipe for disaster as Collingwood extend their MCG winning streak against the Eagles and put a huge dent in the club's top 4 aspirations. Welcome to another episode of Eagle Review, proudly sponsored by Masters. Cheers. Benny Roberts, you were at the game. What was probably the most disappointing aspect from the coaches and players' decision, getting a feel from the change room straight after?
Probably they couldn't string 4 quarters of good football together. They struggled with consistency across the day. At times they were really good and they were on top for periods, but they couldn't do it for the whole time, and ultimately it cost them.
Yeah, a gutting last quarter really. You thought, kind of like that Adelaide game where we would launch into it and even seize momentum in the lead and just sort of dwindled away a little bit.
Yeah, the first sort of 5 to 8 minutes of the final quarter, I thought, okay, I think they're playing well. They've got the game on their terms. Cripper kicked the goal, they hit the front. I thought, no, I think they're going to be okay. And then from there it just unravelled. So they've got to learn to put 4 quarters together. Very high pressure, intense game as well. Collingwood, club record for tackles, and I think we were third most in the AFL for tackles that round, so it was a very tight ball to be won all throughout the day. Didn't Darcy Moore get a hold of us early as well? He looked unstoppable, and I think they probably could have won by more if he stayed on the field. Yeah, and they started a few times early. The defenders struggled with long balls coming in. There was a couple of them where, unmarked guys went up or very easily took a mark, so they wouldn't be happy with that, and I'm sure it got raised in the review. It's big expectations for the club to do well in 2016. Obviously, coming off the back of the grand final last year, everyone expects something very similar. But having a look at it, we've got quite a young side out there that played on Saturday. 7 players with 50 games or less. 2 of those players, Simon Tunbridge, season debut, and Malcolm Carpeney, donning the blue and gold for the very first time. How did you assess their games? Yeah, it was really good to see Mally get a go after a number of years working really hard. Tunbridge didn't get a lot of the football, but I thought a lot of the times he just knocked blokes over, a lot of pressure. I would have liked to see him thrown in the middle, just the big bull go in there and go berserk. But no, I thought he was pretty good. I think he'll get more of the footy as he starts to ease into it a bit more, but he did the things without the footy good. Carpeney, early on, a bit nervous. A couple of times he probably could have had a shot and he went to give off, probably because of first game jitters, but he worked his way in as well, and I thought good signs for a first up effort, not bad. Thought it was Gaff's easily his best performance in 2016. Just used the ball with absolute precision, and his quick release with the hands as well, showing great maturity in decision making. 8 score involvements and 5 inside 50s. Yeah, no, he's good. Jeez, he works hard. I remember watching him for a while. Jeez, he works hard. He wasn't the only one. There was a couple of others. I thought Jack Darling had a really good game, kicked 4 goals. Last time he was at the G, kicked 0 goals 5. So when he was sliding up for that first one, I thought this could get on his mind if he misses, but he nailed it. Missed one late in the first quarter, but he had a good day. Yeah, I thought the skipper defended well. His body work in season 2016 has gone in leaps and bounds, I reckon. Very strong, as we all know, but used the ball at 95%. I thought Luke Shuey's goal assist, where he got crunched behind play by Jonathan Marsh, was able to get up. He saw the play was still in his territory. Ended up getting a 1-2 worked hard left foot assist to Cripper. That was probably play of the day for me. Yeah, no, getting tougher, as we say. We've been saying it a bit this year. He's getting tougher inside and more inside footy, and that was another example. Sort of strength, kicked on the left foot, bullet pass into Cripper. Speaking of getting crunched, Govman. I actually thought he was going to knock Varco into next week, and it turned out that he didn't look around quick enough. Geez, that's courageous. Didn't look around quick enough, and he got knocked into next week a little bit. Just got rattled, he said. Just got rattled. Yeah, thought Matt Priddis was going to be the same. Going back with a flight and disrupting that ball. Just gutsy stuff. So we've got to commend the players when we do see it. It's very weird to see Eric McKenzie down on such confidence and I guess form. You're seeing him drop him a couple of marks in the MCG that he would absolutely gobble up in normal circumstances. And obviously, I think he is one of the best users on the opposite side of the body from the West Coast players. You go back and look at some vision, he is exceptional on the left foot, but missed 2 key targets on the weekend. You know what Gov said to me? That they all joke that Easy's better on his left than on his right. I'll back it. He's a good kick on his left. He's a good kick. Lecker as well, another one. Compared to last year, a lot of people comparing, obviously they're going to improve. Lecker's a little bit inconsistent this year. I think he'd be the first to admit that. He hasn't kicked as many goals as he had this time last year. Got called holding the ball a couple of times. Pressure was up, difficult game, difficult probably to call him out, but no doubt he'll be looking to turn it around this week. Yeah, they were strange sights to see. Sam Butler had a couple of weird minutes heading into the 3-quarter time change. He's been hit in the head as he's gone a little back tap. Said he got him pretty decent when I spoke to him today. But then also he gets his back snapped in half in this tackle. I hope he's okay, and we went and saw him and it's given the all clear, but there was some weird moments from Sam Butler. That's a fragile old body. You don't want to mess around with it too much. He's had a poor run. You don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. Now, the captain, you mentioned the way he's defending, and he kicked at 95%. I really liked, what I did like was some of the kickouts from fullback. So you can be conservative long to the boundary, but Bung and others have gone a couple of times, just gone pulled the trigger. A couple of times he've even kicked to himself, allowed the play to fall this way and then gone bang and opened up the space that way. So, and it's really good because aggressive ball movement was one of the keys of the Eagles last year. So it's good to see them confident enough to go for it again, even though they're probably not in great form.
That's right. I'd like to see Hearn do more of what he did. Schofield probably had a couple of his best plays, speaking of taking the ball on his turn dummy. Give it a JK, about 50-metre kick as well on the chest was pretty decent. And then the smother, saving a certain goal from Collingwood as well. Hats off to him, 150 this week, and he's in good touch. Let's go to our roast of the round. We'll get through them quickly. Got a few to just touch on. Gaff, I don't think he's missed many shots of goals like this on the run, but he's barely made the distance. We'll give him a little clip there.
I reckon he was that tired. He ran from the other, that tired that he missed that one. That's what I said to someone in the race at the time. Pendlebury, their inspirational captain.
He is.
Not playing with the whistle in this occasion.
No.
Just thought, I'm going to talk to the umpire instead of just staying with the ball because we actually got the ball. They ended up getting it back and then kicking forward, but played with the whistle.
Benny Reid, what about this handball? We're either going to roast the umpires for not calling that as one of the most blatant deliberates going around, or for being one of the worst handballs of all time. We'll let the fans decide which one wins out there.
I'm going to go it was a roast for not being called deliberate.
Probably.
I think it was deliberate. Now, Josh Kennedy, Coleman medalist, he's leading again. It feels wrong. I think he'd be disappointed he missed that one late.
Wouldn't even need to roast him. He knows.
He knows.
He knows.
He knows.
Jack Darling, this is holding the ball every day of the week. You've probably got to pay that. We're both sides here at the review. What about this work of boundary umpiring here? Have a look where the ball goes out. Now, take in mind, see where it is. Umpire brings it back. That's about 20 metres. Now, we did kick a goal in this instance, so bad example, but there's four of you.
Doesn't matter. Could have gone the other way.
Get it right.
Get it right, not too hard. Now, Wellingham. He's one of those ones with ball use has been elite the last couple of years, especially coming out of defence. One of the keys to the surge at the ladder last year. Good mark late in the piece. Eagles pressing, wanting to get back into the game. Takes a good mark here, showed, pushes back and then launches a flower bag
That's
into the
floating
50.
everywhere. What about the mark attempt?
Taylor Adams. Well, that's what I said. Those flower bags, they're hard to. They're real finger breakers sometimes.
That's right. We're going on. What about some of the carry-on from the Collingwood cheer squad? It was out of control. What about what's the difference between these two fans, you reckon? About a $5,000 suit, I would have thought. They were just spitting images of each other.
Not a great example to be setting for your children, I would think, going off at the umpires like that.
No. What about around the grounds now? Let's have a quick mention. We'll go over to the Cattery for Friday Night Football. Dixon giving this high free kick tackle. It's an automatic goal from the goal square, but I love the Geelong fans' enthusiasm. Telling the umpire, how about use these? Use some of my specs.
The old specs.
That's just a great call.
They're sponsored by RPSM, so they've probably already got some. What about this bloke at the Cattery?
He's always there.
He's a grown man, and he's pulling this on every week. It's not right.
Yeah, I'd like to see Brad Scott donning that outfit, but when you did get a glimpse of him in the box...
I thought he was on the verge of tears.
I think he was. You didn't see anything that wasn't there, mate.
Go back and have a look.
But the winner, we're going to go all the way back to the MCG. There was some ripping marks from the Collingwood faithful. Darcy Moore was taking absolute screamers, and Levi Greenwood took one of the best marks I think he's ever going to take. Andrew Gaff spoke about it, said it was replayed 10 times on the big screen. He couldn't get away from it. But when you follow up one of your best plays of the year with by far one of the worst shots on goal you're going to see for 2016, that's your roast. See you next week.
Bye.
Do you want to be a part of WA's more awesome squad? Prove it. You can win 5 tickets for you and mates to come to a West Coast Eagles home game. Just snap a photo of you and your other squad members, hashtag Masters Squad, and head to Masters Instagram or Facebook page to get the ultimate fan experience.